Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Getting right to the point, I am going to start this bright everyday makeup look with the last bit of this primer. I finished it on this makeup look, but I took my usual amount and just put it on my face and rubbed it in. This is a bit of a thicker cream and it has some SPF in it, so I had to give it a minute to soak in before I could continue. But after the primer, I went in with this Camouflage Duo. It is a cream concealer that I use to cover any spots or discoloration that I think might show through the foundation. Especially because I'm planning on going with a more sheer approach for foundation, I wanted to make sure it still looked flawless by tackling any problem areas before we even get started. I'm just going to be using one pump of foundation as opposed to the usual 2.5 because I want light coverage. I don't want my face to look a different color. I just want my face to have a more uniform color to it. So I took a little bit and spread it with a beauty blender as far as it would go. With a base layer in place, I'm gonna go in with concealer, and if you know me, you know I usually mix two colors. I have a lighter concealer and a little bit more of an orange concealer, and I like what the two colors look like together. But I'm only gonna be putting on a little bit of concealer because I want everything to look natural and blended. It might feel counterintuitive to only put on a little bit of concealer because when you blend it out the way you usually would, you still see some of your blemishes kind of peeking through and you can still see the circles under your eye a little bit. But the aim of this makeup look is not to perfect everything, it is to blend everything together. Think more along the lines of a smoothing filter that doesn't take anything away, but it does make anything you don't like a little bit less obvious. And if you do still have natural elements peeking through, like a little bit of darkness under your eyes or some blemishes, it makes it look less obvious that you're wearing any makeup, which is what I'm going for with the foundation at least. Moving on to blush, I'm using this cream lipstick as a blush and I'm applying it liberally. I want to look all bright and flushed, so I decided to put a lot on and blend it out with my beauty blender. I put it on the apples of my cheeks and then pulled it up my temples and a little bit out sideways, so it doesn't just curve up on my cheek, but goes all the way back against my temple as well. To set everything, I'm going to use this loose banana powder. This has a little bit of a yellow tint to it, so it helps neutralize colors as well. But I'm picking it up on the puff it came with and applying it underneath my eyes to prevent any creasing. And then with whatever is left on the puff, I just apply it all over my face. This way I'm only putting on a little bit of powder so I don't end up looking dry, but my face is uniform in terms of shininess. Because the last thing I want is for it to be set all matte underneath my eyes and then for there to be a line before it's dewy. Back to blush, I'm picking up my powder blush because the setting powder did lighten up the blush a little bit, and like I said, I want to be nice and rosy, so I'm going on and layering it on again until I'm happy with what it looks like. I'm also making sure to blend it in as much as possible because I do want it to look natural. Moving on to highlight and contour, I'm going to start with the skin toned pressed powder and I'm going to apply it in all the areas of my face I want to have bright. This includes underneath my eyes, on my chin and on my forehead because these are the areas that I want to have stand out and come forward. Because these are the areas I want to come forward, which will make me look a little bit more awake. Then for my contour, I'm going to go in with a thin brush and lightly contour around my lips and also down the bridge of my nose. I don't want to go in too heavy with contouring my cheeks, my jaw, and my forehead. So I'm just accentuating these two central features and then making sure to blend it all out. Going in with shimmer highlighter, I'm picking it up on a pencil brush and applying it on my cupid's bow, under my nose, on the bridge of my nose, under my eyebrows, and in the inner corners of my eyes. After that, I go in with my fingers and apply the highlighter to my cheeks and then make sure to rub in all the highlighter so it doesn't stand out too much. I want it to look like a subtle glow coming from the skin as opposed to a chalky line that has shimmer, and rubbing it in does that for me. Onto brows, you know the deal. I'm going to brush them out with a spoolie and fill them in with a brow powder kit. And now that I'm done with all the powders on my face, I'm going in with setting spray, giving it a second to dry a little bit before going in with my beauty blender to make sure there's no droplets. So now we're done with the face and we can go in with the eyeshadow. I'm starting out with a slightly shimmery white eyeshadow and I'm applying it all over the inner half of my eyelid. I want this to make my eyes look brighter, but I also want it to make my eyes look bigger, so I'm applying it pretty high up into and a little bit above the crease of my eye. I'm then also putting a little bit of this color on the lower lash line. Then with a fluffy blending brush, I am taking a light mauve color and I'm blending it into my crease. Because now that I've brightened up my eyes, I still want to accentuate them as a feature. The crease color is the first step for definition. The second step is by picking up a plum shade on a flat shader brush and stamping it right into the outer corner of my eye before blending that in with everything else. I want the color to be concentrated on the outer corner of my eye, but I still want it to blend into the crease color seamlessly, so I go back and forth a little bit with adding more of this color and then blending it into the crease again. A bit of the blending cut into the white, so I'm applying a little bit of that white again just to soften that transition. Onto eyeliner, I won't be using liquid eyeliner, just this pencil eyeliner, and I'm going to be using it to tightline, which means I'm going to be coloring in my upper waterline. Not only does this add a subtle sharpness to the shape of your eye, it also makes the base of your lashes look like a little bit fuller. So this is something I tend to do with any look where I will also be applying mascara, which is most of them, and then I also like applying it in the outer third of my lower lash line because that suits my eye shape. Then for the rest of my lower waterline, I'm going to be applying some white to further brighten my eyes. And then the final step for the eyeshadow is to reapply that inner corner highlighter to make sure it pops the way I want it to. Onto my eyelashes, I'm sure you know the deal. I'm going to be curling them with my lash curler before going in with this I Love Extreme mascara. I'm focusing on the lashes on the outer half of my eyelid first to make sure there's the most mascara there, and then after that going in and making sure there's a little bit of mascara everywhere, including the inner half of my lashes and my lower lash line. Next for lips, it's this lip liner that I've been loving lately. It's the only one I've been using for a while, so I'll definitely name the color for you down below if you're interested. But I'm going to use it to slightly overline my lips and to also round out my cupid's bow. This is a personal preference if you want to have your cupid's bow accentuated or rounded out. But after doing that, I shade in the color a little bit before going in with a coral colored lipstick. I'm just applying a little bit of this lipstick to bring a touch of brightness to the lips, and then that is it for this makeup look. I was just messing around when I did this, but I ended up loving the end results and loving all the pictures, so I had a lot of fun with this look. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and then I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye bye! You know, you'd think filming a voiceover would be quick, but it's taking me 18 minutes to do this voiceover. But at least now it's done.